So, Ivan, thank you for letting me explain
Yeah.
what is a beloved bit of equipment. It's known as the Wallace slope. And
Okay.
you think actually how brilliant to design a slope, but
Yeah.
it's incredibly useful for us as ink makers because we can use it to tell us an awful lot. We use it to research how an ink is going to behave in the real world under a roller.
Okay.
The research was done by two people called Thetsko and Walker many years ago, who realized that there is a sweet spot for an ink, a particular thickness, when we'll get what's known as true rolling. This whole idea of true rolling is if you take a cylinder, and you might want to hold that brass cylinder there, and you'll agree it's pretty heavy.
Yeah.
Perhaps a lot
Definitely for
heavier than
the
you
size
thought.
it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And true rolling is the situation where if you were to take a small little blob of ink and put it on here, it's similar to if you accidentally tread on a bit of gloss paint when you're painting at home, you're going to get the same gloss paint across the carpet.
Yeah.
If you had a small dot of ink there and we rolled along, are we going to get the same size of stain each time we go? When we get that, it's known as true rolling. So I've done a little test here, and I put a small quantity of ink on this brass roller, and in a moment I'm going to let it free into the wild, and it's going to go down the slope, and I'm going to ask you, the three options are the two footprints it leaves going to be identical, or is the first one going to be shorter and the second one going to be longer, or the other way around, is the first one going to be longest and the second one shorter? So there's your three options. Are they going to be the same, or is the first going to be shorter or longer?
I would think the first shorter and the last one bigger.
That's very well reasoned. Let's have a look and see.
It probably isn't. I know.
You're actually wrong.
Yeah.
You came up with a very clever, good idea, but this is such an old test, we still measure it in inches.
Yeah.
But actually, you can even see without me measuring.
Yeah.
The first is longer. So that means we have not got true rolling. Well, how can that be? How can the stain have got shorter? Any ideas?
It has used some of the ink, of course.
No, if that were true, you'd simply get a lighter stain, wouldn't you, of the same length?
Yeah.
Shall I help you?
Yeah.
You know, if you're walking down the street, I don't know if you ever have trodden on a banana skin, but actually your foot goes on the banana skin and you travel a greater distance than you'd anticipated. You travel a greater distance than your legs were actually going. Well, what's happened here is that the first stain has allowed the roller to skid.
Yeah.
Now, the more viscous an ink is, then the less we get of that skidding. And so, taking it to the nth degree, a very, very high viscosity ink, you'll have a perfect match. That doesn't happen in the real world.
Yeah.
What happens in the real world is you get these differences. We're okay with small differences. If those differences are very marked, then you have printing problems. You'll have, when you're rolling, you can have sort of stretch marks, if you like, in the ink. Taking it to the extreme, you can have even ink fly, that the ink will be coming off the roller. So we need to try and make sure that these two are similar. One of the big problems for us is we make our ink, we send it out, and we don't know what people are going to do with it. Now, if people extend an ink with a lithographic extender, that's okay. They're simply adding more of what's already in there. They're adding an ink to an ink, so it'll still behave like an ink. If they add an oil, you'll find the difference increases. If they add wiping compounds or anything petroleum-based, then that extreme gets wider and wider, and you have all sorts of issues. So this is the beautiful Wallace slope, and this is why, even if we make small modifications, we'll want to check have we got as close to true rolling as we can.
Okay.
Thank you for listening.
Oh, wow. Great. I learned.
Never leave home without it.
No,
Thanks very much.